A4J viewers, we're so excited that you decided to check out our blog. Today we're doing something a little different. We're doing our first video blog post. We're so excited about this. What inspired us to do the video blog post is that oftentimes we receive questions via email and Facebook asking us about relationship advice, mostly as it pertains to dating, but also as it relates to spiritual growth, resolving conflicts, and just establishing healthy relationships just across the board. So folks often are looking for a yes or no answer, and we found that that's very challenging to provide because your question prompts us to ask additional questions so we can really get a full understanding of your specific situation. So our first question came just a few days ago from an anonymous requester, and I'm going to read the question here. It says, "Hello A4J, I really need your advice. I was approached via Facebook by this guy I attended grammar school with, and I hadn't seen him since grammar school. We have been on a date twice. He's shown himself to be God-fearing. He stated he is saved, and he treated me with such respect. A gentleman he is. He shared with me his background, of which it kind of bothered me. He indicated that he was innocent and was a teenager and was at the wrong place at the wrong time and is now in doubt and has been released for going on 2 years. Is this someone I should even consider as a potential husband? I like him and I'm very attracted to him." So thanks so much for asking the question. It's a great question. Before we go into answer, let me give you our disclaimer that the information we provide is based on Trial and I's personal relationship experience. That's over 40 years of relationship experience in dating. However, it's still based on that. We do back everything with Christian principles. We kind of advocate Christian principles as well as psychological principles. So it's kind of all that combined, but at the end of the day, it's based on our personal experience. So with that, we want to give you tools and strategies so you can couple our personal experience and make your own assessment about the situation. So we're kind of going to give you about a 4-step action plan to determine if he's husband material. So the first thing is make an assessment about his incident. You need to find out more about that. Was it a misdemeanor or was it a felony? It likely was a felony, being that it sounds like he was incarcerated for some time. So you have to figure out, okay, what type of felony was it? Was it a violent crime? If it was a violent crime, that reveals a lot about someone's character. It could tell you if he had self-control issues or perhaps anger issues that led him to committing that crime. If it wasn't a violent crime, then you have to look at what situation it was, if it was a drug charge or things like that. So really take a look at it. I understand that he's stating he's innocent. However, the truth is most people that's incarcerated state they're innocent. And just like the judge and jury have to kind of assess the evidence and situation to make a determination, you kind of have to do the same thing. And you may ask, why is it important? That's his past. But past behavior is an indication of future behavior. So it's something you do want to assess and look at to see if those type of behavior or character traits are still present in his life today. And you're going to do that by looking at how he interacts and treat other people. How is he treating his mother? How is he treating his sisters? You know, if he has any, or even his dog. Observe those things and see how he interacts with those folks. So that kind of leads me right into the second thing. You know, how is he behaving, his character? Think about also who is he hanging around. Is he with also the friends he was with when he committed the crime? Is the folks he would hang out with, the guys that hang out with today, you know, still in the streets, you know, committing crimes, smoking marijuana, things like that? That is so evident to let you know if this past situation was kind of like a fluke or is this still part of who he is. I can speak from my own experience. I've dated ex-convicts. Yes, that was plural. And in the latest incident that I got myself into, the guy, he did tell me he had committed a crime. I didn't find out any facts about the crime. Okay, then 10 years later, he came up as a suspect in another crime. Unfortunately, it didn't turn out favorable to him. But the crazy thing is, when I learned that he was a suspect in another crime, I was not at all surprised. I recall one time when I was telling him about a scenario I had with my girlfriend and the guy she was dating at the time, and something I mentioned to this guy, my then boyfriend was telling me if I ever said that to him, he didn't know what he would do. And I was so afraid for my life just by that situation because I really took that as a personal threat. You know, he hung around other guys who still seemed to be in the street, you know, smoking weed. He didn't do that, but they did. And that affiliation is important. So you have to assess it. Is he still affiliated with those people? Or is he affiliated with people that's, you know, living Christian lives and trying to pursue the things of Christ? So make that assessment, and it help you to know, is this guy husband material or not? The last thing we want to tell you is to do an evaluation. You know, evaluate how his past experience is going to impact his financial potential, his, you know, abilities to secure a career. Oftentimes, if someone's an ex-convict, they are limited to their career opportunity to being like a barber or perhaps being like a truck driver. And that's a whole nother thing. A truck driver is going to be away from home a significant amount of time. Is that something you're willing to endure? Oftentimes, another career path ex-convicts try to go into is owning their own business. Owning your own business is definitely a challenge. Over 50% of businesses fail, a lot due to lack of planning and lack of capital, cash, to keep the business afloat. So if he's saying he wants to open his own business, you need to ask him if he has a business plan, who's his mentor. You know, you really want to dive deeper to get an understanding. What is his plans to get the capital necessary? Does he have somebody investing in the business? Where's all this going to come from? Because people have a lot of great ideas, but it's meaningless if you don't have a plan and a strategy to execute it. And you have to really assess how that's going to impact your life. You don't want to be in a situation where you're the one pulling the weight because he's not able to secure or keep a job because of his criminal background. So with that, you have a lot to do. Okay, we tell you to do some assessment, do some evaluation, and then observation. Okay, and then we also want to tell you in the interim, after he passed all these tests, hopefully he's passed all the tests. If he's not, then you need to, if you see evidence of this old person, you know, in him, whether it's self-control issues, controlling, trying to control you, things like that, you need to pay attention. And another thing I'll plug before I go into the questions is also look at how he responds when he's upset. Look at how he responds when you tell him no, you know, or if you're late. Those are good indications because you want to rule out certain behavioral things as far as him being controlling and short temper. Those are two of the greatest challenges that we deal with men today. So you want to rule those things out. So ask a lot of questions will help with that. Like I mentioned, ask about his goals, ask about his 2 to 4 year goals, get very specific. Write them down, ask follow-on questions. You don't want to take a notepad in there with you, but you have them written down. You know what you're going to ask and where you're going with these questions and what information you're trying to find out. You want to know what type of relationship he's looking for. Is he even looking for a serious relationship? If he doesn't have a secured career, I hope he's not really looking for a real relationship, because especially one that's moving towards marriage, because he's not securing himself. Okay, so he has to take care of that block first. Then you can ask him that question. See how he spends his weekends. What is he doing in the evenings and weekends? How's he spending that time? That's significant to tell you about what his priorities are and how he's living his life, what he's doing for fun and entertainment. Obviously, we talked about the church thing. Is he going to church? Is he interacting in active in ministry? What exactly how he's spending that time is critical. So we hope and pray this information was helpful and insightful to you. Do these things, apply it, let us know, follow up with us in maybe like 3 to 4 weeks and let us know what things you're seeing. We'll be glad to do another video blog to address additional concerns that may arise in this dating thing. I know it can be quite a challenge trying to evaluate and see whether someone is the right one. And we want to determine if someone's husband material at the earliest point possible. We don't want to get 3 to 6 months into the relationship to figure that out. And another thing I will plug, if you're considering this guy seriously, you also want to meet his family. Hopefully, if he's considering you, he will make arrangements for you to meet his family, and then you can kind of get also an assessment of how his family dynamics are, and you know, find out about his family background. So again, we hope this information was helpful. We love you so much. God loves you more. This is He Husband Material series video, and we hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.